Russian rapper, and it was really funny. And then he just kept up with these funny videos, and one of them was, "This is my PeePee, PeePee," and it was just a guy doing this, shaking his PeePee. It was the funniest thing. And then I had people sending that to me, and I was like, I know that guy. Like, and we're still friends on Facebook actually to this day.
Do you want to do a PeePee song?
I kinda, yeah. Yes.
I don't want to. Okay,
it's great. I'm gonna have to link it now. Because it's just so good.
We'll leave it down here in the description box below. You guys can check out the PeePee song while watching some guy shake his PeePee.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blurred out. It's YouTube, but
yeah.
At the end, there's a little audio you get. It's so funny. It's so good. Genius right there. That's
the P flapping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that you added the sound effect.
Well, he added the sound effects. It's really realistic sounding.
Yeah, it sounds like you've listened to it enough to where you can.
I have.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's that.
Well, and the Game of Thrones documentary that you threw at me, that you forced me to. You didn't necessarily force me, but you kept pushing on me. Go watch the Game of Thrones documentary.
The reason is because I wanted to watch it because I felt like it would clear up a lot of questions I had about the season, and it didn't at all. But I ended up enjoying it for a different reason, and that's because it was just such a real feeling of what actually was going down, as opposed to, because I've shot a lot of documentaries and I've seen a lot of documentaries, and there's always, especially in a production like that, there's always the need to interview talking heads, and then they're explaining like, well, in this season we really wanted to show the depth of this character, and then I'll cut to B-roll of that character. It's very straightforward and cookie cutter type situation.
Right.
This documentary was not that at all. I mean, it followed the little guys. Barely any of the main actors spoke. Like, barely any of the big directors or anything spoke. And when they did, it was like the weirdest things. Like, the executive producer, she's talking about the director of one of the episodes. She's like, "I love his penguin waddle." And then it cuts to him and he's just like waddling, like walking away.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, that's so fucked up that she would say that, but also so awesome that it was like
Well, she said it in a manner where it wasn't disrespectful, that she genuinely loved it.
Right.
It brought her happiness.
I loved it. I really did. Like, he seems like such a cool guy. I want to shoot with him. The nerdy one with like the lisp.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
He just seems so cool. I want to work with him. He seems like the real deal.
Yeah, I'm still a little bitter from
the season.
Yeah,
and I am surprised.
It was a little. Had that released that maybe like before season 8, just to kind of overhype.
Mm-hmm.
See, the last season, I might be a little bit more gravitated toward it. The only reason why I watched it was because you kept pushing it on me. So it's like, I'm gonna need a talking point anyways, because he's not gonna want to do another show unless we cover this Game of Thrones thing. So I'm also just fucking watch it.
That's right. That's right.
Fucking asshole.
I mean, I didn't feel that way like you did. I completely forgot about season 8 as being angry at it and unanswered questions.
As long as those memes keep rolling through my feeds, I'm always gonna be pissed off.
I mean, I don't know, man. To me, it didn't affect the documentary. The documentary was completely different.
It was good. It was enjoyable. I mean, I on a more positive note, I appreciated that they followed more on the extras and what they were going through, how they felt, the emotional attachment between their role into a much bigger picture.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
And not taking any moment and opportunity for granted that's given to them. And I can appreciate that. However, on the bigger scope of things, all I saw, at least for the overall, concept of it, was this is the process and how to overhype a general audience and then piss them off at the last season.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You still fucked up.
But that has nothing to do with the documentary, though. And that's why I was trying to get you to live outside of season 8.
Was trying to.
Just look at the documentary.
There's a scene where the two director guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where we're going to do what they call a round table read with all the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And they're reading their lines, and they're reading, the sequence of what's going to happen next. Whose line is it next? You read your part. Then you see, what's his name? Jon Snow. Like, he's looking down.
Keith.
And he's like starting to tear up, like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there's no spoilers in this one. Just go check it out. You already know what happened to season 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I couldn't tell if that was a tear of joy or a tear of disappointment or a tear, oh fuck, this is it.
Right.
Probably more like this is it, because the directors, they didn't even seem to blink. They were just like, look, read your lines. Let's go through this real quick because we're ready to go and do Star Wars.
Right. I tell you something
if you go back and
interesting.
look at their expressions, I was looking at them. I was really looking at them, and I was kind of like, yeah, they're anxious to get over to Disney right now.
See, I've suspected for a while that things probably got cut from this last season for whatever reason, and maybe it did make more sense at the beginning. And there was a part in that table read where I swear they were reading a scene that wasn't in the show. I don't remember what it was now, but that makes sense to me. I feel like that could be a reason why the season fell apart. Maybe they had plans for an extra episode, or maybe extra scenes.
There was
a
news,
couple of lines.
HBO even came out and said, like, dude, we want to give you more money to do 3 more seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
And they turned it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can honestly,
knowing that fact has made it very hard. Like I was trying to get on your playing field because I knew that piece of information. It really distorted my view, even though you wanted me to come in as like, just look at it, watch it for what it is.
Right.
And I was struggling because I knew that piece of information. I didn't want to tell you, worry that it might distort because I already knew that information before you gave me a heads up. It was like, dude, I already crossed that line of no return. There was no returning for me.
What I did like though is when they did focus on like the directors and stuff, they didn't focus on any of the directors. They focused on the Waddle guy, and I loved that. He did the good episodes, like what was
season 1, 2, 3, and
I forget, but yes,
5, and then
and then he had some back problems.
Yeah,
and
he had
stuff.
to go in for surgery, and then he came in for the last, because like he was out for like 2 seasons because he had to recover, and then he can come back in and do the last season 8.
Yeah, but he only did, I think he did episodes 1, 2, and like 5 or something like that.
Yeah, those are the seasons.
No, I mean this season's episodes, what he directed.
Oh, okay.
He didn't direct episode 3, for example, that was, one of the shittier ones.
Whoever directed episode 3, please go launch yourself into a pit of darkness.
They're in the documentary, but just very briefly. It really just focused on him.
Yeah, it's a good thing it was brief because I missed it.
Yeah.
Obviously for the reason that I couldn't see a damn thing in season 3.
Madison made one comment when they were showing behind the scenes from that episode. She was like, "Oh, look, I can see clearly right now." And then it went to the directors, and she was
that sounds like something Madison would say.
It went to the directors, and she was like, "Oh, y'all are the ones that screwed it up." Okay.
Yeah.
It was really funny. But other than those little comments, it didn't really.
Thanks for taking an hour and a half of my time, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, I loved
watching nothing.
I loved exactly what you said earlier about the extras. I loved the snow guy. He was probably my favorite character, actually.
Yeah.
Because his job was so intense, and you wouldn't even think about it, Especially because at the beginning of the documentary, he was like, "Well, if it actually snowed, that'd be great, wouldn't it? We just go home, And then it actually snows, and it makes his job so much harder.
What I appreciated was that the fact that he said verbatim, nothing goes to waste.
Yeah.
I love that. He's like, I don't care how much money. Like, I don't like wasting money. I don't like wasting resources. I just don't like wasting.
Yeah. I thought that was
Don't
crazy.
waste it.
And then later he was at like a grip truck or something, I think getting some grip tape or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, just a little bit, don't waste it. And I was like, he's serious about that.
Yeah.
He really does not like to waste. Good for him.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this guy was probably raised up in an Asian family.
Yeah.
Don't waste food.
Well, I think they went into his background a little bit, and he grew up pretty poor.
Well, it's someone who's going to grow up poor is going to have a different take than someone who grows up who grew up in abundance.
And there was a lot of guys like that on the that they featured. I mean, even the extra Andy, the extra that they featured, he was pretty much the same way. The guy who played the Night King. Yeah, he was like a Russian gangster or some shit, and then just like, he's into stunts now. I didn't realize he was a stunt man. And then just so happened to be told he was going to be able to be the Night King, and he was like, "Cool,
yeah,
that's awesome."
Well, it's interesting how movies and at least this type of art form can save a lot of lives, get people out of trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of going back to the MCU with Robert Downey Jr. Remember, he was a drug addict, and and then I think there was a part where he said MCU saved my life.
I could see that. He went to like prison and shit.
Yeah, he
did.
He
he had a tough go there for a while.
What's his name? Who played the dwarf?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I was gonna call him Dinkelbach from Destiny because he was the voice.
Oh, right. At first, anyway.
Yeah, at the first Destiny, for some reason I was gonna say Dinkelbot because everybody called him the Dinkelbot.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
but that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
See, I loved him as the ghost, but like I guess something happened and they ended up replacing all of his voiceovers.
It probably cost too much money.
Maybe.
I know there was probably like, I don't know, like some fans didn't like the voice.
Yeah, somebody. I feel like I read a comment that said something like we think he did great, but it just wasn't the direction we were going for. I'm like, but he did amazing, and the game already released. Why replace it now? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But
no, whatever. It's like what they were really trying to say is like he did a great job, but our budget is not going in the direction because the budget's kind of going downhill when they need the budgets to go uphill.
Because they need him to keep going, right? And so,
look, you don't have to for continuity's sake. Plus, him being part of Game of Thrones, that makes him a lot more equitable.
Yeah, or that could have been the trouble too, his schedule. Being on Game of Thrones, he could have been like, "Sorry guys, I can't do any more lines. I don't know what to tell you." That could have been a thing too.
Scheduling can always be an issue, especially on a release date that's tight as well. Then again, in the gaming community, you just push it back and piss off the fan base even more. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
Might as well join the club.
It honestly did piss me off when they took him out, just because I thought he did an amazing job and I like him a lot, and it just seemed like a big move for something so small.
Yeah, I really had to, after watching the Game of Thrones documentary, I really had to go back and watch some more of that God of War documentary. I still like that one better, just because I have no ill will toward it whatsoever. Despite their bosses breathing down their necks, and I thought it was interesting when the scene where they were in that table reading their lines, and the director's like, because we all actually get along with each other, and we're like family, and I'm thinking like this is the spiel that you give before you just cut everybody loose.
Right.
Knowing what I know now, before I wouldn't have taken it, because I'll be honest, I'm probably taking that out of context. Or I could be right, and it's like I'm literally reading right in between the lines, and exactly what they're saying, really trying to say is like, look, we just want to cut you loose so we can do Star Wars.
Well, I mean, I feel like they were probably being truthful, just because.
No, they were being nice.
They spent years with each other.
Nice, truthful, like a nice way of saying we're cutting you loose.
I don't know, and honestly, if I had been on that show that long, I would probably want to be cut loose. Like I don't. A lot
of them didn't want to be cut loose.
I don't like to do the same thing for more than like a couple of years.
What was really surprised is when you said like, it definitely broke. It definitely did a lot more than what you had expected. As far as a traditional documentary goes and how they normally execute it. I'm surprised they didn't even talk about like how we built a 17 block city. Because I knew that they did that, or at least interview some of the construction guys. Yeah,
it was just briefly mentioned. That would be my one complaint about this. Well, I loved that they focused on the little guys. At the same time, they could have done that for 10 minutes, and I would have been okay if they moved on to some of the bigger stuff, like the construction of the set, like the cinematography, like the special effects. They didn't interview a single special effect guy.
Okay.
Like I do. I want to know like, it took us 3 months to model one dragon. Like I want to hear that line.
I know. What I mean? I remember what you said back in God of War. I want to say that the hair.
Yes.
You did this.
Yes.
The hair.
Yes. I want to. So I liked that they explained the snow. That was really cool.
And I'll just go back to saying like, dude, they did it in Maya. You figure it out. There's a YouTube video on how they did the dragon modeling.
I'm not saying
like that, exactly. Like
I'm not saying I want to learn how to do it. I'm saying I want to hear their struggles of doing it.
There was no struggles.
Of course there were. Even the snow guy had struggles.
Very minimal. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't worth taking.
It was kind of dramatic.
What was dramatic?
Kind of dramatic,
dude.
They like lost power. And they had like hand pump water and shit.
Would you want them to chase? Would you want the? Would it make you feel better if the camera guy like kind of like followed them like quickly, did a little shaky action, throw some music, some dramatic music in the background to amp up the intensity? Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next?
I mean, they kind of did that when he had to like run with hoses and stuff. The snow guy.
Yeah.
My point is I appreciate they focused on the snow guy, the extra, and the special effects makeup artists.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much the 3 they focused on, and I appreciated that. But you could have expanded it to a couple more people in different departments.
Yeah, what they usually do, and what they do is they outsource it.
Outsource what?
Like certain parts of filmmaking, whether it be TV show or post productions, or TV shows or films, is like they outsource to like other studios, like outside of the country or outside the states.
And film it.
Yes,
They have a big enough budget.
Okay.
Let's calm down, Chau.
All right.
Like it'd be a big deal to fly to New Zealand to look at the special effects crew. You could do that.
All right, fine.
Like, come on.
I'm
just saying.
I watched this documentary for you. Okay.
I honestly, I can see, now that I think about it, I guess I can see why they did it the way they did, because at the very beginning, the director, the chick, you can hear briefly off camera, and I forgot her name, but she said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm here to be filming the Game of Thrones documentary for the whole year." And so maybe they only hired her to film the beginning and end of principal photography. So they weren't going to get into editing. They weren't going to get into effects. They weren't going to get into launch parties or anything like that.
We already know what's going to take place in the editing.
Specifically for... Yeah, but it's cool to like I
just
watched,
like any other documentary.
I watched the South Park documentary. Have you seen that one?
No. Are you going to make me watch that one
it's
too?
It's really awesome.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, yeah, so we can talk about it in the next episode. Oh my god, I can't believe I watched this Game of Thrones.
They have to make.
I think I wish you would have said that before you told me Game of Thrones. I might be more inclined to watch that shit.
They have to make like an episode like every 7 days or something. Like that's how crazy their schedule is.
Yeah.
And so it shows the struggle of that. It shows like every department. It shows that the animators sleeping under their desks to be able to hit this by Sunday deadline, and then Monday they fucking start all over and shit. They do that for like a season. Like that's cool to me. I want to see somebody sleeping on their desk for Game of Thrones. That's all I'm saying. I want to see that kind of shit.
Why can't you just film yourself sleeping under someone's desk and then?
Because I'm not working on Game of Thrones.
What does it even matter? It's just. Oh my god! Like you can put like in a big text says like this is what they probably went through in Game of Thrones.
It's not good
you
enough.
can say, and it'll say like in blinking words like recreated scenarios. No,
I don't know. It was good.
I think.
And it's the kind of documentary I want to start making more of. I like the idea of interviewing people on the job and as they're doing things, not afterwards in a studio or something. I like when they interviewed the makeup artist and she's going around doing makeup shit. That's cool to me.
I'm still holding a grudge against the directors.
Yeah, but the director of the documentary is different. I think the director of the documentary did a great job, except for like 2 music choices I thought were awkward. Other than that, I mean, she did a fantastic job.
No, I'm not saying she didn't do a bad job. I think she did great. She did what she was expected to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the timing of the release of this documentary feels more like a PR stunt to kind of start ramping up the because I know they're gonna do Game of Thrones like what's the word I'm looking for they're doing another Game of Thrones series.
There's supposed to be something like a prequel or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I know it's supposed to take place, at least from what I've read, it takes place like after the Age of the Dragons. So there's no dragons in this. I don't know what the stakes will be. Unfortunately, I mean, this is going to like get everybody hyped up and destroy their hopes and dreams. I mean, it's like, great, another Rian Johnson writing style. Congrats.
I don't think it would take a lot for me to get into another show because I'm so invested in the characters that I know. It would take a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be take a lot better to be put on the pilot.
Yeah, that pilot better be fucking dope. Yeah, because otherwise it's going to lose me.
Like,
it's going to take a lot. It really is.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm sorry. Public trust. If there was like a political polling for public trust with Game of Thrones, I'm pretty sure it'd be an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
Like level mainstream media low.
Mm-hmm. Mainstream media low.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would say it's not that low. I would say it's probably like 60%, 70% satisfaction.
Get them on a goddamn long-term contract. After season 1, if it hits, you get the directors on a long-term contract.
They probably had that with Game of Thrones.
They missed that.
It lasted 8 seasons.
And they were about to
get 2 years to make the last one or some stupid shit like that. So it's a pretty long contract.
Needs to be longer. Not long enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they shoehorn this, they shoehorn that. It's like, man, maybe I had to shoehorn my foot up their ass.
Mm-hmm. One of the comments that was made in the documentary that actually kind of pissed me off was one of the producers talking, and she was saying how difficult everything is to get on schedule and on time and stuff. Then she was like, because we have to do everything like a movie, except we're on a TV budget and we're on TV time, so we have to do it faster. I was like, that's not true at all. You had 8 episodes to do, which normal TV is 24 episodes. Let's get real, even though that's getting shorter all the time.
Well, she knew, or she's been working on the...
No, she's been on it the whole time. And then you had like $15 million per episode, which is not a TV budget. Let's calm down. You had a movie budget, and you had 2 years to make 8 episodes. You had plenty of time and plenty of money. Let's calm down like it was rushed, That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, the writing was obviously rushed.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm saying they had... She was acting like they didn't have enough money or enough time.
$15 million per episode, right?
It's supposed to be estimated $15 million per episode.
Per episode. So how many episodes?
8.
8.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even if you count each one as like a movie, $15 million is still a lot.
Total it together, but 100. Because the average cost for a movie, average on a national level, is 70 to 90 million. And then the highest for like big box office is 150, or at least the average is usually to 100 to 150 million. At least that's according to Hollywood Reporter.
The big blockbusters are getting out of control. They're spending 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, because they're trying to compete with MCU.
Like, yeah, exactly.
MCU built
so much money.
Built it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they built it up to that part.
Mm-hmm.
But 70, 90 million. I mean, that's just like per one movie. This is just like a movie. I'm not saying box office.
Mm-hmm.
15 million. I would say that's. And this is according to Hollywood Reporter, but 15 million is generally like in indie level.
Right.
So that's actually pretty small budget.
Yeah, but not really. Not when you consider that they don't have to do half of what a movie does. I mean, one episode.
Well, how do you know? Not everything was covered. You said it yourself.
Because TV is so much easier in this way, in that you really only have Game of Thrones is a little bit more advanced, but in a general TV show,
we don't know how advanced. How much is a little more? I'm telling you,
they generally have just a few sets and a few main characters, and
here's what I saw.
And half the episode will happen in one set.
Based on what I saw in the documentary, I saw like 2 or 4 cranes in that movie building shit. It's like, I don't know, that seems pretty advanced. If that, to your standard, if that's what you call a little more advanced, I'm like, damn, dude, you've got some pretty high standards for what.
No, but you're comparing it to a movie. You're saying that was actually pretty low budget if you consider it. It's more like an indie film.
I'm looking at the budgets right now. Like,
yes, but I don't think you understand what I'm saying. In a TV show, you're spending a lot more time in the same places with the same characters doing the same things. It's not like a movie where you're going to have 30 different locations with 100 different people and all these crazy battles. They had 1 episode, or I guess 2 episodes this season where there were battles. The rest was people talking in a room.
Yeah, but
that's not hard. That doesn't require a lot of money. Well, 2 people in a room lit by fire.
Okay,
does not take a lot of money.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Bigger picture. What I'm looking at is like, one is that the writing will often dictate the budget.
Right.
You sure you're not being a little over dramatic?
I don't think so. I think they had plenty of time. And I think they had plenty of money, and I think if you complain about that, that's pretty weird. And it wasn't just that they were complaining about it, it's that she was like comparing it to a normal TV budget or a normal TV schedule as if that's what they were doing. And it wasn't. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. It's just... Yeah, because what I saw was like a really wide range of $3 million to $9 million. $15 million, considering like what was put into this very high-end production. 15 million based on what they wanted to achieve and how they want to achieve it. Look, she can complain all she wants. Maybe it's the stress that's getting to her. Cut her a little bit of slack. You've worked under pressure. I've worked under pressure.
Yeah, no, I'm
Chill
just saying.
Chill the fuck out.
I'm just saying. I'm not that mad about it. I guess I was mad because you were like arguing with me that it was a lot of money. I'm just saying
it's still a lot.
It's more than what most people have to work with, both in money and time. It really is. It's a lot more. It's at least double. It's at least double what everyone else has to work
bigger
with.
budgets on a smaller scale. Maybe she's just piss poor management at producer, but somehow she managed to make it work. at a large scale. You know, like maybe she's just stressed. Like, God, man, like get off her nuts.
I'm just saying. It's weird. Or maybe you're right. Maybe their vision was just too big for that budget and for that time
They
frame.
were able to pull it off for 8 seasons. I mean, I'd say, hey, you did a pretty good job.
But the other seasons were more focused on drama, whereas this last season was basically mostly action.
Yeah, battle.
There wasn't a lot of character development. There wasn't a lot.
Do you really need character development at this time?
I did for the dragon chick. You know, that would have been
queen?
nice. Yes, dragon chick.
Daenerys?
Dragon chick. That's what she is, man. She's the dragon chick.
Or the dragon bitch now.
Well, let's calm down. Sir, that was a little rude, first of all.
She burnt like an entire city.
Well, just say B word.
I did. I said bitch.
I couldn't take myself seriously when I said that.
That was stupid.
I'm sorry. I was trying to be respectful to women.
Oh, God. Did somebody throw what happened?
That's
What'd you do?
fine.
What'd you say?
It's fine.
Okay, fine.
It's
All
fine.
right. Well, you're going to have to tell me after the show is over, okay? Well, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up right there. Guys, thanks for checking in. My name's Chau, checking out.
I'm Ian Share.
And please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, please follow that finger. He's kind of pointing that. You got to go up. There it is. And the bell icon to get more updates. Follow us at Instagram.com/usinthemiddle podcast and Facebook.com/usinthemiddle. No podcast. I'll have to explain
Stop
later.
touching the table. Thank you.
I was touching this. Is this okay?
No, because it's attached to the table.
And we'll see you guys next time. What?
What's going on for me?
I'm sorry.
Here's what's going on for me.
All right, okay.
It's distracting.
All right, I'll stop.